The Strait of Hormuz has always been the world's most dangerous energy choke point, a narrow passage where global nafta supply lives under constant risk. For years, the United Arab Emirates refused to remain trapped by that reality. It invested billions to build a way out, a direct pipeline to the port of Fujairah, designed to bypass the strait entirely and secure its economic future. It was supposed to be the ultimate solution, a route that would keep oil flowing no matter what happened in the Gulf. But today, that assumption is collapsing, because the bypass never truly escaped the reach of regional tensions. And now, the very lifeline built to protect the UAE is facing the same threat it was meant to avoid.
The UAE. They're scrambling to reduce their dependence on the single volatile choke point. And they are pushing new infrastructure such as pipelines, terminals, and storage hubs to diversify export routes away from the Iran-controlled waters.
A pipeline the United Arab Emirates is building to pump oil from East Coast terminals and bypass the Strait of Hormuz is about to open.
The United Arab Emirates have built pipelines that allow oil to bypass the Strait of Hormuz entirely.
The UAE's grand strategic gamble, a multi-billion-dollar project meant to break free from the Strait of Hormuz, has unraveled into a stark geopolitical reality. What was once celebrated as Abu Dhabi's ultimate insurance policy is now facing severe disruption, exposing the limits of infrastructure in the face of regional power dynamics. At the heart of this story is the collapse of the UAE's most ambitious workaround, the overland pipeline to Fujairah. Designed to bypass one of the world's most critical oil choke points, it promised uninterrupted exports, even in times of conflict. But today, that promise looks increasingly fragile. To understand why, you have to go back to the original fear that drove this project. The Strait of Hormuz has always been a strategic bottleneck, a narrow corridor through which a massive share of global oil flows. For the UAE, relying entirely on that passage was a risk they could not ignore. So they invested billions into the Habshan-Fujairah pipeline, completed in 2012, capable of moving up to 1.8 million barrels per day directly to the Gulf of Oman. On paper, it was a perfect solution. In reality, it simply shifted the vulnerability. A pipeline can move oil, but it cannot guarantee safe passage for the ships that carry it onward. The risk didn't disappear. It relocated to the waters surrounding Fujairah. And in today's environment, that is enough to disrupt the entire system. What we're seeing now is not a traditional blockade, but something more subtle and just as effective. Heightened military presence, surveillance, and persistent security concerns have transformed the area into a high-risk zone for commercial shipping. Insurance costs surge, operators hesitate, and traffic slows. The result is the same: restricted access without a single official closure. This is the modern face of maritime pressure, where uncertainty alone can paralyze global trade. At the same time, the infrastructure itself adds another layer of risk. Oil terminals, storage facilities, and ports are fixed targets. Any disruption, real or perceived, can halt operations instantly. Even temporary shutdowns ripple through global markets, tightening supply and increasing volatility. For the UAE, this creates a difficult reality. The very route meant to ensure resilience has become a point of concentration for risk. Instead of diversifying its export strategy, the country now faces renewed dependence on a system under constant pressure. The impact goes beyond infrastructure. Regional tensions intensify, economic strategies shift, and global energy markets react. In a world where supply chains are deeply interconnected, disruptions in one mantika can influence prices and policies worldwide. What makes this moment particularly significant is the broader context. Multiple pressures on global energy supply, from conflicts to sanctions, are converging at the same time. Together, they amplify uncertainty and reshape the geopolitical landscape of oil. For the UAE, the challenge now is deeper than restoring a single route. It is about rethinking how security, geography, and strategy intersect in a region where no pathway is truly insulated from conflict. The lesson is clear. You cannot bypass geography. You can only negotiate with it. And when that reality is underestimated, even the most ambitious plans can begin to unravel.